Take off. Tighten your seatbelts. Vritrasura is coming soon. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vandeham Shri Gurur Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvatam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindha Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayine Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratas Charthe subhigyasvarat Tene Brahma Hridayadikavaye Muyanti yat surayah Tejo vari mridam yatha vidimayo Yatra trisargo mrisha Dhamna svena sada nirastakuvakam Satyam param dhimahi Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayamudhirayet Swasti astu vishwasya khala prasidatam Dhyayantu bhutani shivam mitho dhiya Manasya bhadram bhajatadadhokshajay Aveshyatam no matirapyahetuki Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, chapter number 9, beginning from verse number 13. And this is a description of birth of Vritrasura. Vritrasura was created by Tvashta, father of Vishwarupa, who was killed by Indra because Vishwarupa was giving power to the Asuras who happened to be from his maternal uncle, grandfather side. So we read also how Indra, when he killed, then he got Brahmatya, because if you perform any action, there is a reaction for that. You cannot avoid it unless you are a Jivan Mukta. Means you are liberated while living in this body, or you are a devotee, means also Jivan Mukta, and perform action only for the pleasure of the Lord. then there is no reaction. Because reaction comes when we are attached to the sense of doership and we want to enjoy the result of our action. Then naturally you have to get the reaction, good or bad. So Indra, of course, he did it out of anger, which means that he was considering himself as a doer, and he thought that this person is an impediment in his enjoyment and his power and his position. Therefore he killed him. So he got the reaction, and he went around with it for 1 year, wandered here and there, and finally he got solution for it, that he gave it to the 4 people, gave it to earth, gave it to water and the trees and women. So he became free, but these 4 personalities, they got the reaction, which we read yesterday. So then, when Twashta, the father of Vishwarupa, he heard his son is killed, so he performed a yajna to create a person who will kill him. Because mantras, they have the power. Everything in this world comes from sound. It is a manifestation of sound, everything is vibration. So mantras have the power to create. But because we chanted the mantra improperly, just like if we have to make a compound by mixing certain chemicals, if you mix wrongly or put wrong proportion, then the product will be not what you expect. It will be different. The same thing happened here, that Vritrasura was born, and it will be described how fearsome he was. But he was not successful in killing Indra. So Thanvaharya Pachanad Uttito Ghor Darshane Kritante Valokana Yugan Samhita. He read this, that this terrible personality came out from this yajna, and Vishushuya Vidhardamana Tamishu Matram Dine Dine Dagdasala Pratikasha Sandhya Abhranika Varchasham Taptamishva Sakha Shikhasnashru Madhyana Arkogra Lochana. So there is a description of his appearance, how he was. So he was first of all increasing in his size every day, day by day. Ishu Matram Dine Dine. Ishu means an arrow. So size of an arrow he will increase every day. Next day he is longer. So every day he has to get new dress, because the previous dress is shorter. That's why it is better to have a dress like this, right? And then it won't fit you next day. This free size. Doesn't matter. So he was increasing, and Vishwa Vivardhamana Tamishu Matram Dine Dine Dagdha Shaila Pratikasham Sandhya Abhranik Varchasham. And he appeared like a mountain, dark in color and big in size. And like if you see the clouds in the evening time, sometimes there are clouds, the sun is setting and they look very reddish in color, darkish reddish, like that he appeared. And Tapta Tamra Shikhas Mashru. So his hair, his moustache, they were like red copper color. And Madhyana Arkogra Lochana, and his eyes were shining like the midday sun, fiery. This is how he appeared. There's no commentary on this. Dedityamane Trishikhe Shula Aropya Rodasi Nrityantam Unnadantam Cha Chalayantam Padamahim. So what he was doing, he had a trident in his hand, and the trident had these three points up, and they were very sharp. So he was holding this trident in his hand, and he was dancing and shouting and jumping up and down, and it appeared as if he is going to hold the whole firmament on his trident, because he was very huge in size, like a big mountain moving. So Dari Gambhira Vaktrene Vivatacha Namastalam Dihata Jivyakshi Vyasta Bhunatrain. And he had big mouth which appeared like a cave. So he was yawning, and when he opened his mouth, it was like a cave. You can go inside that. And when he opened his mouth, it appeared as if he is going to swallow the sky, and he is going to lick the planetary system with his tongue. And he has huge teeth, so very ferocious. Nihata Jivir Rakshani Vrasta Bhunatam. He was trying to lick. Means he was having his tongue out and moving it. You have seen the snake, how they are moving their tongue? Like that he was doing. And Mahata Raudra Dranshtrena Jirimbamanam Muhur Muhu Mitrasta Didrugu Loka Viksha Sarva Vishwanacha. And again he was yawning. So when people saw this terrible form, they started running here and there. What is this? Everybody became completely scared of him. It would be nice to make a movie about him. Right? Try to make some movie. Sule Rodasi Aropya. So he was like trying to hold the firmament. Tam Viksha Vitrasta Loka Dasho Vidadragu. So people started running in all different directions out of fear. Kidrisham Vishwak Samantam Swasya Udvadho Dasnikshu Shu Vikshep Matram Pratidinam Vardman Aropya Aropya And then ye navrita ime loka tamsa twashtra murtina savi vritreti prokta papa paramanam. So he was called Vritra, and Asura is added to him. Although he is not an Asura, he is not born from Asura family, but because he is going to attack the Devas, therefore he is called Asura. Because there are two types of personalities, Devas and Asuras, divine, non-divine. So those sargalog bhute asmin daiva asura. So there are two types of people, daiva and asura. So although he was created by Twasta, he is a daiva, but he is called asura because he was going to attack Indra. So Indra's enemies are asuras. Why was he called Vritra? Because Vri means to cover, to envelop something, to cover. He said because he was covering everything all around. Therefore he was called Vritrasura. And he was very tamasic. Papaha param daruna. So loka tamsat plashtra murti. He is called plashtra murti, means a form which is created by Tvashta. And tamas has the characteristic of covering, right? It's like Sattva has the characteristic of illuminating things. Because he was very tamasic in his appearance, in his behavior, and he was huge in size. So therefore it's called Vritrasura. So Devas are sattvic, and if you have to get rid of sattva, you need tamas. So therefore Vritrasura comes. And he was very cruel looking, and is also called here as Papa, means very sinful. Swatam nijagdhu abhidrutya sagana vibudharshava swasvai divyastra shastrovhe swaprasattani kritsamasa. So when he came out, he asked Twasta, what do you want me to do? It's like the story that you hear sometime that somebody needs a bottle and one genie comes out of that. And the genie asks the person, what do you want me to do? You have to give some job, otherwise the genie will kill you. So Twasta, when he created Vritrasura, and Vritrasura asked, yes, Father, what shall I do for you? How can I serve you? Right? So he said, go and kill Indra. So he was very happy. He wanted some destructive job to do. His tamasic energy means to destroy things. You take pleasure. It's like now Diwali is coming, right, after a few days. So then they're blowing these crackers. So this is also a type of pleasure. This is called tamasic pleasure. By breaking something, making noise, people feel very happy. You take this and then throw at somebody, and then you laugh. Right? So this is tamasic happiness. What is the happiness in doing and making sound? So like that he also had energy, and he wants to. Because originally they say that this is in celebration of Lord Ramchandra coming back to Ayodhya. There were no crackers at that time. The new invention after they found this powder. So they only lit lamps to receive him. And maybe they sang and made some music. That would have been that's how to receive. But you don't hear of this making noise. So this is a later Kali-yuga addition to Diwali. Now this has become prominent more than anything else. It starts 1 week in advance. So then he went to kill them. Abhidrutya Savana Vibudharshava. So then all the devas, when they saw him coming, they attacked him with their divine weapons. But Vritrasura, he was not even attacking them back. He was only taking their weapons and just swallowing them. There are some people who eat tube lights sometimes, right? They can eat anything, they can eat iron pieces. They take a bottle and they eat it with their mouth, chew on it. You have seen? Some people can do that. I don't know how they digest it and what happens in their mouth. But I've seen photo. Somebody eating a tube light. Like sugar cane. So he was also doing that they are throwing weapons at him and he is just catching the weapon and swallowing it. So tataste vismita sarve vishanna grasta tejasa pratyancha madi purusham upatasthu samahita. So when they saw this, they were very surprised because they never seen anybody like this. Somebody attacks you, you throw a weapon and another weapon comes from the opposite side. But this person is not throwing any weapon, he is eating the weapon. It's like a food for him, he is happy, okay, supply me more. So they were very amazed and they lost all their power. They didn't know what to do. So they became very dejected. And they did not know where to go. So, because where will they go, they will attack. He will attack, right? If they run around, he will also run. So where did they go? He said that they went Pratyancham Adipurusham Upatastu Samahita. They went inside. So one place where Vritrasura cannot go is inside. Because tamas has its limits. If you want to worship the Lord, going inside means going towards the Lord. So that is actually the solution. If you want to get rid of tamas, then you have to perform devotion. So that is the only solution they found, and they understood this. So they approached the Lord, they turned their awareness inward. If they keep their awareness outward, then they only see this tamasic fellow. So they became meditative. They sat in meditation and they started praying to the Lord. So that's why it is said that Pratyancham Adipurusham, the original person, Supreme Lord, Upatastu, they prayed to him, Samahita, with concentrated minds. Because for that, no one can stop you. If you want to fix your mind somewhere, no one can catch your mind. They can disturb you externally. But in your mind you are free to think. So it says here that Tvastri Sambandhini Murtiri Yasya Tena Vritrena Ime Loka Avrita. That all these planets were covered by him. Pratyancham Pratyak Bhutam Antaryaminam. So they started meditating on the Supreme Being who is inside everybody as Paramatma, immanent being. So Lord is there inside every person, but we do not consider his presence. Our awareness is always to external sense objects. Therefore, we have no contact with the Lord who is sitting inside our heart. Only when we are in trouble, then sometimes we think of praying to God. So this is their prayer. Deva Uchud, and they begin their prayer. Vayam Varagniyakshitta Striloka Brahmadayo Ye Vayam Udvijantaha Rame Yasmai Balimantako Sau Vibheti Yasmadarnam Tatona. So he says that Aranam Tatona, that the Lord, he is our shelter. Aranam means Sharanam. So we take shelter of the Lord. Who gives fear even to the fear personified. Everybody is afraid of death, but death is afraid of the Lord. So he says that these three worlds, they are made of the five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and sky. And then there are personalities who are in charge of these elements. There is earth which we see, but there is also the deity of the earth. Mother Earth is presiding deity, personality. And similarly, water, fire, there is Agni Devata, there is Jala Devata. Vayu Devata. Right? So these devatas, they are divine beings. So they are all afraid of death. Everybody. And they all bring their offerings. Rama yasmai balivantako asau vibheti asmadanam. So, but that death or that call or time is afraid of the Lord, so we take shelter of that Lord. These are protected. अस्माद् वृत्रजनित भयात् परमेश्वरं विना न कोऽपि रक्षितुं प्रभविष्यति इति मत्वा तमेव शरणम् आश्रयन्ति. So Devas, they understood that there is no one who can protect them from the fear of Vritrasura, because he was so powerful. Therefore, they are taking shelter of him. So Devas are also devotees, but they are Sakam Bhaktas. They are not pure devotees. Their devotion is with some motive. They are motivated to achieve something from the Lord. Therefore they go. And when they have achieved, then they forget. So that's why Lord, He sends once in a while some asura to them, to wake them up. He says this in Bhagavatam, Jai Kale to Sattvasya, that sometimes Lord, He increases the sattva, and then the devas and rishis, they become powerful. Devakale to Sattvasya, Jaikale to Sattvasya, they were seen Rajasura, and then sometimes He increases the rajas and the asuras become powerful. And Tamso Yaksha Rakshansi, Tatkalo and Guno. And sometimes He increases the Tamam and Yaksha and Rakshas become powerful. And why He does it? Because people forget. So like now, all the tamas and rajas is very powerful. Sattva is down. So these types of people are becoming strong. So then they are approaching him. Vayu adi uplakshitani trayovinsha tattvani tatha vayadibhi nirmitastriloka tatha tesham adhipatiyo brahmade tatha stato arvachina vayam cha ye sarve yasmat mrityor udunjanto bhita. So he says that there are 5 tattvas, but it includes all the 23 elements. So 23 elements are Mahat Tattva, and then Ahankara, the ego, and then the Panch Mahabhutas, 5 senses, working senses, 5 cognitive senses, mind. So all these things in sense of that. So these make 23. All these 23 elements in this planetary system which is made from this. And then there are directors, there are controllers, beginning from Brahma and coming down to Indra and other devas. So this is all within the jurisdiction of time. Time is called in Sanskrit Kala. So Kalayati iti Kala means the time will destroy all this. So therefore Kala is also the word for death. Whatever you see around you, it will all be destroyed in due course of time. Nothing is permanent. So therefore everybody is afraid of time. Krishna says, time I am. Chapter when Arjuna asks, he says, Kalu asmi, lokshakrit pravidha, and I have come to destroy. So time is the great destroyer. Everything is going towards destruction. Time, slowly moving. So that's the cause of fear. So therefore we are all troubled by this fear, and we bring our offerings to time. He said, but this time he is afraid of you, the Supreme Lord. Because time cannot have any influence on him. So he says, therefore we take your shelter. You are our own shelter. Avismitam tam paripurna kamam sveneva labhena samam prashantam vinopasarpati aparam hi balishah svalangulena tittarti sindhum. So Lord is called Paripurna Kama. All his desires are fulfilled. He has no desires to fulfill. He is complete. In the material world, everybody has some desire. Try to imagine that if all your desires are fulfilled, what will happen to you? You will die of boredom, right? You will then invent something. So Lord's all his desires are fulfilled, but he is not bored. He is very happy, he is blissful. We are afraid that if my desires are fulfilled, then what will happen? Where will you go? When Alexander began his conquer of the world, and his teacher asked him, but suppose you conquer the whole earth, then what will you do? He became scared. Yes, if I conquer everything, then what will I do? There is nothing to conquer. So mind wants something. Mind is the genie. He always wants an engagement. Material mind. So Lord is called here as Paripurna Kama. His kamna, his desires are paripurna. And Sveneva Labhena Samam Prasanta. And he is peaceful. And not peaceful because somebody has given him something, but by his own nature, by his own quality, by his own personality. He is full, he is complete. And therefore he is called Avismitam. Visma means surprise. When we see something extraordinary, which we have not seen before, which we have not experienced before, then we become surprised. Right? We wonder. So Lord is called Avismitam because there is nothing which can put him in wonder. There is nothing outside him. So he says that if someone approaches someone else besides him for shelter, then he is foolish. And Swalangulena Atittarti Sindhu. He is foolish like a person who wants to cross the ocean by catching the tail of a dog. So you want to go beyond the ocean. You are in the middle of the ocean and there is a dog there. He is also trying to go somewhere. You think that you can hold to the tail of this dog and you will cross. So you will drown the dog also. Both will drown. So just as you cannot cross the ocean by taking shelter of a dog, in the same way, if you take shelter of something else besides God, then you are bound to drown in the suffering. So people take shelter of money, power, position, relations, thinking that this will give them happiness. But it does not work. They remain empty. And sometimes they get the illusion of little happiness, so that they can continue. So in between, Maya gives them the illusion that yes, you are okay. So then you work again. And then she starts kicking you. And when you get completely dejected, then she gives you another lollipop. So then you are again getting strength. So this is how Maya keeps you within the material world. And we cannot find the limit or the end of the suffering without taking shelter. Mamevaye prapadyante mayamitam tarante. Famous statement in Bhagavad Gita that only those who take shelter of me, Krishna says, can get rid of this Maya. Devi hiya sargunmayi mama Maya duratyaya. So my Maya is Devi, divine. Devi also means one who plays. This Dhatu Devu has many meanings. One of them meaning is to play. So Devi means divine, also light. Devu also means light. It also means play. So Maya is actually playing with everybody here. That's why it is called Daivi Maya. So there is Daivi Maya and then there is Jaivi Maya. When a person starts thinking that I am God myself, or I am very powerful, or I am very strong, or I am learned, Konyasti Sadrisho Maya, who is like me. So that is Jaivi Maya. And then he starts fooling others. And he gets people fooled. Everything is God. Daivi and Jaivi. So Jaivi is more dangerous than Daivi. So it is not possible to cross this material world, which is compared to an ocean, without the shelter of the Supreme Lord. If you take shelter of the Supreme Lord, then the ocean, it dries out or it contracts. It is said that it becomes like the water in the hoof print of a cow. Gospadayate. Gospada is the sign cows walk and make a imprint, little depression in the earth. If it rains, then also water fills up. So the ocean becomes like that, which means no more miseries. Then you can cross over very easily. So Sri Vishwanath says that Tadamyastu Sudhiya Naiva Ashraniya Itya. So one should, the intelligent people, they don't take shelter of anyone else or anything else. People also take shelter of dogs these days. Big dog in the house. So avismitam iti tammina aparam devtantaram karmyogam jnaniyogam param aparyogam va sharanartham balisho mahamurkhe vapsati. So besides the Lord, people take shelter of other devatas, other devas, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, some different types of people. Some people are worshipping Saturn. Now it is becoming very popular in the Kokulavan here. Near Kosi there is a forest, there is a famous temple of Saturn. Every Saturday now, thousands and thousands of cars are going there. Suddenly it has become popular. Saturn worship. Nobody went there. So he says, taking shelter of other devas, or taking shelter of other processes, karma yoga, jnana yoga, or some other type of yoga. Many other types of yoga are there, right? So these things will not help you. The only thing which can help you is bhakti yoga. Nothing else. So he says those people who take shelter of these other yogas or other devas, they are balisha, means mahan murkha. They are completely foolish. Why foolish? Because they don't understand that by following this path, you will not achieve anything. You will remain in your trouble and perform unnecessary labor. So he says that only foolish people, they run to these other devas, other deities, or to other processes. Natu Vigya, not those who are in knowledge, who understands what is what. And then the example says, Yatha Sunaha Puchena Sindhum Ati Tartum Ichchati Sasvaeva Sindhum Tartum Na Saknoti. So just like a dog, he is trying to cross the ocean. You throw a dog in the water and he will also start swimming. So he says that the dog himself cannot cross the ocean. So how will you cross if you catch the dog's tail? It is not possible. So he says that these devatas and these devatas themselves are praying. He says people are worshipping us, but we ourselves are in trouble. So what help can we give? We have to approach the Supreme Lord. But this is what foolish people do not understand. Kimuttat puchgrahina sasvaiva drishtva pratham samudra madhye kshipati nimajiti iti bhava. So he says that how a person who catches the tail of this dog will cross. So this dog himself is going to drown and you will drown along with that. Bhagavad ashrayitu sansar sindhum yat tarati tat kimapi nadbhutam itya. But one who takes shelter of the Lord, he or she crosses the ocean of the material world. This is nothing surprising about it. Therefore they say avishmitam. Na vidyate vishmitam kimapi adbhutam yatra tam. So there is nothing which is more wonderful than the Lord. There is nothing which is more amazing than Him. Nothing which is more powerful, more superior. Tam vina durlanghasyapi sansar sindhos tarena anyatra ati vishmayopi tatra na kopi vishmay. So he says that this sansar sindhu, this material world is very difficult to cross over, and it cannot be crossed without Him, and it is not surprising if one can cross over by taking shelter of the Lord. Avishmitam. Sadyaiva tasya gospadi karan samarthya. Because once you take shelter of the Lord, then Maya does not trouble you anymore. Because the purpose of Maya is only to bring you to the shelter of the Lord. So once you take shelter of the Lord, then Maya leaves you. Because there is no more problem, no more purpose in troubling you. So therefore he says that the ocean becomes Gospada, like the size of a cow's hoof. Svenaiva swaswarupenaiva yo labha saundarya adi madhurya saptasya prapti tena samam saha paripurna kam. So Lord is happy with His own self, with His own beauty, with His own sweetness, with His own youth, so with His own compassion. He has all these qualities and He is happy with them. Tena samam saha paripurna kama, and he has no desires to fulfill. Sviya aladani shakti datta bhoga yasya. And he has his own internal potency, his pleasure potency which gives pleasure to him, and he is satisfied with that. Prashantam anugram, therefore he is not disturbed by anything. We are disturbed by our desires. Every desire is a disturbance to us. Desire means that I am not satisfied with what I am now. I have to do something and then I'll be happy. Now I have some incompleteness in me, and if I achieve the object of my desire, then I will become complete. Only problem is that the desires, when they are fulfilled, they leave their children behind. They breed babies. So then you are tending to those babies, and this parampara continues. So there is a desire parampara. This is called Kama Sampradaya. And this is unbroken. This is anadi. There has never been an end to this chain. So one after another, like you see the chain, they have these links. So one after another there is a link. And you go on from one link to another link, like you're surfing on the computer, internet. So it's also a net. It's called internet. So once you go inside the internet, you cannot come out. You're caught in it. So that is the network of the desires. And we have, let me see this, let me see that. And you remain busy with it. So Lord is free from that, therefore He is Prashant. So Bhakti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakal Yashant Krishna Bhakti Niskama Taiva Shant. The devotee of Krishna is Niskam. Does not have any material desires. But he is peaceful in all circumstances. So the sign of wisdom is that one is peaceful. Sign of wisdom is not that one knows too many things. Okay. Win in the quiz contest. But whether one can remain peaceful in unfavorable situation, in victory or defeat or loss, or gain, or disturbing situation, one can maintain one's balance, evenness of the mind, that is wisdom. And if one is not such, then there is no wisdom. So that's why Lord is called Prashant. So Prashant Sagar, this ocean there, right? So peaceful. Seva pradhe jate api bhakta vatsalyatvat shantaram. So he makes a point that Lord is so peaceful that sometimes people are doing service and they make mistake. The Lord does not lose His temper. If there is a seva aparadha, there is offense in service, He remains peaceful. So that's why it is called Prashant. And yasho shringe jagatim svanamam manuryatha badhya tatar durgam sevana spashtra bhayad durantad trata shritan varicharo pinukam. So he says that Manu, he crossed the water of dissolution by tying his boat to the horn of the form of the Lord. So he tied this earth to his horn, and therefore he crossed the problem of dissolution. So let the same Lord who took the form of fish, He protect us from this fear of repulsion. So the story of dissolution is found in all religious books, in all cultures. There is a deluge, right? It's in the Bible also. So it's also there in the Puranas that there was a deluge and this Satyavat king became Babaji Manu. So he was told by the Lord that you bring a boat and keep all the seeds in that and various types of species. And when the deluge will come, you tie that boat to me and I will go around. And when it subsides, and then you can again come. So they are praying to him that just as he was able to cross over, we also want that he protects us. So vayam tuati nikrishta sakama api asmin mahabhaye eva sharanam yanto api tena rakshaniya eva yatha purvanitya. So they are realizing that we are coming to the Lord only when we are in trouble. He says that we are motivated, we are sakama. We are not pure in heart, and only when we are in trouble, then we come and pray to you. So they are accepting that. But Lord is so compassionate that He still protects. So they say, this Yasya Matsya Rupasya Jagatin Prithvi Yatha Tatariti Vayamapi Tatha Tataram Karimi. So just as this fish he protected the Manu, like that he will also protect us. Varicharo api variniyeva charanapi tatreva sthitva jagati sthanam asman ishwaratvad rakshatu. So in case of Matsya, he is an aquatic, took the form of an aquatic, and he was in water himself, and therefore he protected. So he said that he can protect us even while remaining in the water by his power. And Pura Swayambhurapi Sanyamambhasya Udirna Vato Ormi Ravai Karale Ekorvindat Patitas Tatara Tasman Bhayatyena Sanoastupara. And then he is talking about Vavashvat Manu, now he is talking about Swambhu Manu. That Swambhu Manu was also protected by the Lord in the time of deluge. So, say that when there was heavy wind blowing, Swambhu, actually not Swambhu, it is Swayambhu. So Swambhu is the name of Brahma. So previously Lord, he also protected Brahma. Because Brahma, he was born from the lotus navel of the Lord. And then he fell down from that. He was looking down from the lotus. And lotus moved and he fell into the water. So Lord protected him. So because there were heavy waves of the water and heavy wind was blowing, so the lotus was moving. And he fell off. So Lord, he protected him. So Pura Swambhurapi Swayambhu So Udirna Vatormi Ravai Karale Ekorvindat Patitas Tatar. This is not mentioned anywhere else. Brahma fell into the water. Right? We only hear that he was born and then he was trying to figure out what is the source of this lotus. He went inside. There is no mention that he fell off. So maybe he was a little baby in the beginning. And the lotus was moving with the wind. And only he tried to see where it. And then he lost balance and fell into the water and he did not know how to swim. And it's also a problem to swim with 4 heads. Then at least one will go inside the water. trying to lift. So water went inside his nose, and Lord, he lifted him up, put it on the lotus again. So he says that same Lord who uplifted him, Brahma, who had fallen into the water, patitas tatara tasmad bhayad. So he says the same Lord will also make us cross this fear of Vitrasura. So Sanyamamsi pralaya jale. Sanyamamsi means the water of dissolution. Arvindat nabhi kamlat patita. So Arvindat nabhi kamlat, the lotus flower, patita praya. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says that patita, which literally means fell down. So he says that fell down here does not mean that he actually fell down, but almost fell down. So it looks like that he did not fall. He was about to fall, and somehow he protected. So that's the explanation. So I will stop here. So then we will read how Lord, he will appear to them, and then they will pray and put their problem in front of him, and he will give a solution to them, how to get out of this trouble. So it's a fact, if we take shelter of the Lord and if we are in problem, even if we take shelter when we are in problem, then he will help us to get out of that trouble. Of course, his solution may be not as you would like to have it. Because we have our ideas, he has his thoughts.
Well, I do have two questions. So time is always considered death, but time also manifests things. You know, everything becomes manifested by the movement of time.
Yes.
So why is time always depicted as the destroyer, death?
Because as soon as it manifests, it is moving towards death. Manifestation takes little time, and after that, I'm in class, call after 10 minutes.
So it's mainly the destructive aspect of it that is.
And because suppose a child is born, right? So birth has happened, whatever time it takes. After that, the whole movement is towards death. Right?
And my other question is, so this whole incident, since the devas are subtle, everything happened on this subtle platform, this subtle dimension.
Yes. Subtle. Because the main thing is happening even inside us is at the subtle level. Right?
So this whole description compares with the elements and the fire and the mountain and all this, just to give us a mental picture.
Yeah, at the subtle level, they will see it like that.
According to chemistry, nothing destroys, it only changes its form.
Right. So change of form is called destruction sometimes. When we say something dies or something is destroyed, it means changing form. But everything is just modification. Nothing is really lost. It goes from one to another.